This is OwlUp, where learning happens in minutes, not hours. For a deeper journey, explore all our courses at owlup.co. Now, let's dive in. Right now, most adults eat fewer than half the plants their bodies need to age well, yet they believe their diet is pretty healthy. You sit down to dinner, glance at your plate, and pause. Is this helping my cells stay young or quietly speeding up the clock? Most people plan their meals around convenience, not longevity. Yet, in large trials, like the 7,447-person PrediMed study, simply shifting what fills your plate cut major cardiovascular events by about 30%. That's not a niche biohack. That's the power of a structured pattern repeated day after day. In this episode, we'll translate big-picture principles into a concrete, age-defying meal pattern you can actually follow. You'll see how to move toward getting 90 to 95% of your calories from whole plant foods, like many Blue Zone centenarians. Build fiber up toward at least 30 to 40 grams per day, knowing every extra 10 grams is linked to roughly 10% lower all-cause mortality. Keep calories and protein in a sweet spot, enough to stay strong and energized, but not so high that they accelerate wear and tear. By the end, you'll be able to sketch a full week of meals that matches your tastes and supports a longer health span. Here's the twist. Age-defying eating isn't about a single, perfect meal. It's about the pattern that repeats 21 times a week. In long-lived populations, that pattern is surprisingly structured. Breakfast might hit 20 to 25 grams of protein to protect muscle. Lunch and dinner regularly include 2 to 3 cups of vegetables. Snacks add another 8 to 10 grams of fiber. Sodium stays under 5 grams daily, added sugar under about 25 grams for most women, and 36 grams for most men. Your task now is to turn these targets into a repeatable template that fits your culture, budget, and schedule. Think of this step as upgrading from healthy-ish eating to a repeatable blueprint. You're no longer asking, is this meal okay? But, how does this week line up against what we know from PrediMed, calorie, and Blue Zone patterns? Start by sketching weekly anchors, not individual recipes. 1. Pick 3 go-to breakfasts you can rotate. Example set. Oats cooked with soy milk, 1/4 cup walnuts, 1/2 cup berries, 1 tablespoon ground flax. Again, 18 to 20 grams protein, 10 to 12 grams fiber. 2 eggs plus 1 cup sautéed greens, plus 1 slice whole grain toast, plus 1/2 avocado. Again, 22 to 25 grams protein, rich in monounsaturated fat. Unsweetened yogurt, 3/4 to 1 cup, plus 1/4 cup mixed nuts, plus 1 cup fruit, plus 2 tablespoons chia seeds. 2. Define a simple lunch formula you can reuse 5 days a week. 1 to 1.5 cups cooked whole grain or starchy veg, for example 3/4 cup quinoa plus 3/4 cup lentils. 2 cups raw or 1 cup cooked vegetables. 1 to 2 tablespoons extra virgin olive oil or nuts, seeds. This gets you close to a Mediterranean-style pattern without complex cooking. 3. Standardize dinners into themes. Legume night, bean chili with 1 cup beans per person. Fish night, 3 to 4 ounces fatty fish, plus 1 cup whole grain, plus 2 cups vegetables. Tofu tempeh night, 3 to 4 ounces tofu stir-fry over 1 cup brown rice. Repeat each theme 1 to 2 times weekly so shopping stays predictable. Layer in quantitative guardrails. Aim for 2 to 4 legume servings daily, 1/2 cup cooked each, to echo Blue Zone intakes. Cap animal protein at roughly 1 to 2 palm-sized portions per day for most adults, favoring fish and fermented dairy. Keep added sugar to 6 teaspoons, with not 25 grams, for most women, and 9 teaspoons, with not 36 grams, for most men. Read labels and budget it, like money. Use the WHO sodium cap to 5 grams salt today by cooking mostly at home and limiting packaged foods to once daily or less. Now personalize around medical needs and activity. Hypertension? Swap 1 restaurant meal for a home-cooked one. That alone can drop sodium by 1 to 2 grams. Prediabetes? Make at least 2 main meals per day built around beans or lentils to flatten glucose peaks. Very active or over 65? Nudge total protein toward 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram per day, mostly from plants plus fish, dairy. Your blueprint isn't rigid, it's a default setting. Once it's on paper, tweaks are easy, scrambling every day is not. Here's one way to turn principles into something you can actually shop and cook from. Start with a 7-day default grid and plug in specific, repeatable options. Breakfast row. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Overnight oats with 30 grams of oats, 200 milliliters fortified soy milk, 20 grams nuts, 80 grams fruit. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sun. 2 boiled eggs, 1 slice rye bread, 40 grams, 1 tomato, and half cucumber. Lunch row. Aim for 1 bowl template most weekdays. Example, 100 grams dried quinoa, equivalent to 1 cup of a cooked, 80 grams chickpeas, 100 grams broccoli, 50 grams carrots, 10 grams olive oil lemon dressing. Dinner row. Assign themes to each day. For example, Monday lentil stew, Tuesday salmon, Wednesday tofu, third day bean tacos, Friday sardines, Saturday mixed veg pasta, Sunday slow cooker bean soup. One analogy to guide choices. Build each main meal with 3 slots. 1 slot for something that grows in the ground, 1 for something that grew on a plant, legumes and whole grains, and 1 for a flavor booster, herbs, spices, fermented foods. Your challenge this week. Create a 1-page template that maps 3 specific breakfasts, 3 lunches, and 4 dinners you're realistically willing to repeat for the next month. For each, write 1. Exact ingredients with approximate amounts. For example, a half cup dry lentils, not some lentils. 2. A quick prep method that fits your schedule. For example, 10-minute stir fry, slow cooker in the morning. 3. A built-in upgrade for days you have more time. For example, add 1 extra veg, swap white rice for farro. Post this template on your fridge or notes app. For 7 days, only shop and cook from that page, adjusting portions as needed. At week's end, circle the 5 to 7 meals you actually enjoyed and would repeat. Those become the core of your personal, age-defying rotation. Within a decade, expect your weekly template to plug into smart systems that adapt automatically. A watch detecting poor sleep might cut added sugars by 10 grams the next day. A microbiome update could nudge you toward 3 extra legume servings per week. Cities may offer longevity lanes in cafeterias, preset menus capped at 5 grams salt and 500 kcal per meal. Start now by logging how your current plan affects energy, digestion, and blood pressure. Those notes will train future tools to serve you better. Track your results like an experiment. In 4 weeks, note body weight, waist at navel, resting heart rate, and average blood pressure. For example, 128/82 versus 122/78. Aim for 150 to 300 minutes of brisk walking weekly to complement your plate. If waist drops grow to pubic 2 centimeters and energy improves by grow to pubic 20%, lock in your template and upgrade just 1 to 2 meals at a time. Before next week, ask yourself, 1. If I looked at my meals from the past 3 days, where am I clearly missing age-defying staples like colorful vegetables, omega-3s, salmon, sardines, walnuts, chia, or high-quality protein, and which one meal tomorrow will I upgrade with at least 2 of these? 2. Knowing what the podcast said about blood sugar balance and inflammation, which daily habit of mine, for example, sweetened coffee drinks, evening dessert, ultra-processed snacks, is most likely aging me faster? And what realistic swap can I make for the next 3 days to test how I feel? 3. If my future 80-year-old self were planning my grocery list today, which 5 specific age-supportive foods from the episode, like berries, leafy greens, olive oil, fermented foods, green tea, etc., would absolutely be on it? And which of those am I willing to buy and use before the week is out? This was OwlUp, your daily step forward. This series continues with more chapters on OwlUp.co. Visit owlup.co to access the complete course and continue your learning journey. See you there!